everyone, this is Eileen from Eileen Stuffs, and today we are going to be doing something a little different and a little special. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I am a cash budgeter and stuffer here on YouTube, and I am working on paying off debt as well as building up an emergency and sinking funds. If that is something that interests you and you haven't already, please consider subscribing below. You may be wondering why there's nothing on my desk but a pair of scissors and a tape measure, but you have probably already given it away in the thumbnail and the title. We will be doing a big unboxing of some of the more common and top rated budget books on Amazon. It's the end of the year, we're ready for 2023, and if you've been looking for a new budget book and you weren't quite sure, I have about 10 today with a range of prices, options, and styles for us to go through. But our first step is we have box after box, some bags, another box, and one more box. We have I don't even know if you can see this, so lots here to play with today. We are going to go ahead and get started. I think I'll start with this one right here. Let's see what we have and what books we will be looking at today. I am so excited, you guys. I have been waiting all week. These boxes have been trickling in. I could not wait to film this video, and I'm excited for me to find a new budget book for myself. So we have our first box, and in this one, we have a very fancy legend planner, bill and budget book organizer. So this one came in a box all its own, and it's also boxed, so it'd be really nice for gifting. So here's one. I think I'll put this over here. All right, next one. Let's see. I originally had about 15 different planners, but honestly, it was getting to be so much money. I had to break it down, and I really wanted to do different price categories. So I stuck with doing about 2 or 3 in each price category. All right, so let's see what's in this one. Got another budget book in a box. This is Planberry. This one looked pretty nice. It's definitely way smaller than the Legend Planner one, and this would also be a very nice gift. We'll take a look at that. And then this one was kind of a fun one. This one is actually the least expensive one, and definitely I think, and this is one of the most expensive ones. So right away you can kind of see quality and presentation, but they're all good and they all do what we need to do. Okay, next we have 2 more boxes. Let's see what we have here. I'm having one of those moments where I really wish my desk was bigger. But, okay, I think I might keep it this way. Okay, in this box, we have another fancy one, which is the CleverFox budget book. Also in a beautiful gift box, which is really nice. And we have this is actually my planner that I use every year for work, so I'll put this aside. But if you just are really looking for a simple daily planner, I love these essential planners. They're simple, they've got lots of room, they do what you need. And then finally, we have some smaller ones. This one is just like a very simple budget planner book. And we have another one, another little simple budget planner book. Okay, one more box and a bag. Let's see what's in this one. This is the first one that came, and this one's been here for almost a week. I was dying to open it up, but I didn't because I really wanted to open it up on video. And let me grab my scissors. Let's see what is in here. I am making everything shake and move, so I'm just hoping that this comes across okay on the camera. Okay, what is in here? So far I have 6 unboxed, so there should be 4 more. Although I'm questioning right now why there's a box and another bag. Okay, what is in here? Oh, this one was so cute. This is the Carpe Diem budget planner. It's so cute because it has this like cute little pig on the cover, like a savings, like a piggy bank pig. Super colorful, this one. I'm really excited to see what this one looks like on the inside. We also have another budget book that I am surprised how small this is. My first impression, this was one of the more expensive ones. Honestly thought it was going to be full size, and I'm kind of in shock right now how small it is. It's like smaller than the cheapy ones, but we'll get into it. We'll see. I was expecting it to be more grand like some of the other bigger ones. And then we have one that's very similar to the one I have now. It's like your basic budget planner book, low end pricing. Okay, and one more to unbox, and then we will get to the review. And this is the one that's in the bag. And if I'm being honest, I honestly thought what was in my bag was my organizer for work. So I'm very curious as to what this is. But let's open it up and find out. I'm trying to remember what's left. Okay, let's see. In here, oh, yes, okay. We have this little, oh wait, I don't want, this is my error budget planner. So again, another little nice small one. Okay, so this is our 10 budget books that we are going to be reviewing today. I am going to put these in order from the least expensive to the most expensive, and that is how I'm going to do my review, from cheap all the way up to expensive. Let me go ahead and organize these, and we will get started with the reviews. I will be right back. All right, you guys, I am back. I wish, here, I guess I can... This is in order from the least expensive to the most expensive. We are ranging from about $6 and change all the way up to almost $40. As you can see, just by looking at this, the pricier it gets, the fancier the packaging, the bigger the budget book. Some of these smaller ones are definitely tinier. I really appreciate spiral bound. So this being the cheapest one is, I worry about the binding on that. This is like my first impression. This one too, this one just has, it's just like a regular book. So for me, I find that I like to be able to flip my book. I like having a spiral bound book. So that's something to consider. Then we get into mid-range. And this like little one, again, I'm surprised how small it is for the price, but we'll get into that. And then it gets fancier and fancier to the end. Okay. So before I even begin, I'm going to make an announcement, which is I only need one budget book, right? We have 10 here. So we are going to review these budget books, see what they're all about, what is being offered on Amazon. And the big announcement for me is that the holidays are here. It's my 1 year on YouTube. This video will not be it, but next video will be my 100th video. So there's a lot of milestones happening, and I wanted to show you guys my appreciation. And so I will be doing a massive giveaway. I am going to be keeping one of these. I haven't quite decided which one. I will be giving away the rest of these in a giveaway throughout December, which I will talk more about in my next video. But today it's just about looking through the planners, seeing what they're about. I'll have the links below if you want to purchase them on Amazon. And then next video, once I decide which one I want to keep, I will announce the giveaway for these. I say this now because obviously I'm going to have to open up the boxes so we can look at them. So that's going to be a big thing for you to remember, is that if you choose to enter a giveaway for one of the planners, that you are okay with the fact that I have opened it and looked through it for the video, but you still get the final prize, which is the planner. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, let me reorganize myself, put these off the table, and we're gonna get going. All right, so we are starting out with our budget books that are under $10 and are the most frequent ones that come up on Amazon. This one is the first. It is called the Monthly Bills, and it was the cheapest at $6.95. It is pretty simple. There wasn't any options, but let's see if you're really, really on a budget, but you want something. Let's see what $7 will get you. So my first thought is it's a big size. We have about 8.5 inches across, and the length is 11, so it's your standard paper size. Also, as I said, there is no spiral bound, so it is cheap, and you can kind of tell like the cover isn't the thickest. We open up and we have a blank page, and then we have this planner belongs to. So my first thought of this one is, it's very simple and it looks almost like a sketchbook that somebody created. I don't know who made this book, but it definitely almost feels like a coloring book to me. That's kind of what the paper feels like, what the ink looks like, what the cover looks like. It feels like a coloring book. But let's look and see. So you start out right away, it jumps right into January. So the months are listed. However, there's no years listed. So if you were to start, say, in March, you could technically start in March, go through, and then come back for like the next year. I don't know how I feel about this. So it's made to look like little ripped up like notes that you might be taking. But the font, to me, I think right away I feel a little overwhelmed by how big some of this font is. And also there's a lot of breakdown for a budget. So if you are someone that has a lot of debt, a lot of sinking funds, very specific bills, you might not like this. This does not give you the option to put in your own items. It's kind of assuming you're going to have very general things that most people have. It does have 5 spots for your paycheck, which means it definitely covers a weekly paycheck, as well as that every now and then when you get a month where you get a 5th paycheck. It has your basic monthly expenses that most people have. So utilities, rent or mortgage, electric, water. So you can put that in. I mean, that's nice. It's nice that, I guess I'll say what I do like is that it's helping you budget by category. So I think if you're really into budgeting by category as far as your utilities, your living, your healthcare, your transportation, I don't really do it that way. I notice I just kind of write everything out. But if you like that and you want something simple and you kind of like this like coloring book design, then you might like this. But then this is where for me it breaks down like healthcare. So health, life, dental, doctor appointments, dental appointments of costs that you can put in each month. Grocery, your beauty supplies, memberships, daycare, school, clothing. So it kind of, again, kind of assumes you might need all these things. There's a pet, transportation, which is kind of cool that it includes fares and tickets. You got monthly gifts, like monthly birthdays. So other than just utilities, I do like the housing expenses. So this is really getting into the nitty gritty of your budget, knowing like you're gonna need X amount for cleaning supplies or gardening or laundry or other necessities, recreation, so just having some fun, and then savings, which again, if you're really into sinking funds, this isn't gonna cut it. There is something for an emergency fund, an education fund, and a retirement fund. This is the first page of the month. And then you get a little bit more. It goes to some other expenses on the next page. That's something else to think about, that there's so much here and so much already written out that it doesn't stay on one page, which can be a minus. So here we have room for about 4 credit cards and 2 other private debts, other expenses. So you could put debts there. And then you get to put your total income, your total expenses, and what is left over. Then they have a little section for notes and bill tracking. So I do like the idea of bill tracking because sometimes, like, especially when I'm moving on to my next month, I have to remind myself like, oh, what bills do I pay on the first? It's nice that you can like list out your bills and then you have a running list of what is happening. And that is basically it. So again, if you have sinking funds, there's going to be nowhere to write down your sinking funds. Unless you wanted to like scratch this out and turn this into a sinking fund thing, because what I'm seeing is it immediately goes right into the next month. So now you have February's budget. You have the same layout. So I'm confused then. Why is this book so thick? Because it feels like if each month isn't really getting very many pages, I'm going to skip ahead. Something I did notice, there is quotes each month, which I like that. Okay, so is this book doing anything else for us? So I almost actually, as I look at this book, I think that this book would be a great teaching tool. I was thinking it's almost like a workbook at school. So if you were like wanting to teach a teenager or a kid how to budget, this might be a fun one for them because you could give them some money. You can let them play around. Maybe they have pets that they take care of. Maybe they're trying to save for a car. It's simple enough that it would, I think, would teach budgeting. But as far as like a serious budgeter, someone running a family, a household, a lot of debt, sinking funds, investments, I'm not sure. I don't know, I'm kind of torn on this book. It's definitely very simple, and in some ways I like that, but again, in other ways, I'm like, what is happening here? Also, why is there so many pages? Because it doesn't feel like there should be, but I guess so, because I'm already in November, December. So is there something else happening after December? Okay, we have some blank pages, and that is it. That's the end of the book. Okay, so like it kind of shows you on the back, there's 4 basic pages for each one. Again, this is the monthly bills, and it's just kind of basic. I kind of do love it as a teaching tool now that I said that, but that might be the occupational therapist to me that was thinking how fun this would be to do with teenagers or like preteens that are starting to get money. Next book is just called Budget Book. It is a little blue book. I believe this one may have come in 2 sizes, but I can't remember. So this is Budget Book. This retails for $7.49. It is a smaller book. The first one was a regular paper size, measures just under 6 inches wide and then about 8 inches long. Oh, okay. So this is like a suede material on the outside. I do like the little money symbol. It has spiral bound, so I like that. The gold. This is weird. So the cover itself is hard, but when you open it, it feels flimsy, which is kind of interesting. It might just be because it's, you know, it's not solid. You have a basic cover page. I think this is funny. It says, if you found this, please be kind and return with your name, your phone number, your email, and your Facebook. And also it says your reward. I find this funny because I've always been a really big reader. And when I was a kid, I used to like love stuff like this when it was in books, so that I could be like, please return it to me. This is my book. So that was kind of funny. I do see sticking out of the back, there is stickers. So we do have no kind of envelope or anything, but there is 2 pages of budget stickers. And this is kind of tucked into this back strap. Okay, let's see. What does this book have? So again, one, I do like the spiral bound. If you like a smaller budget book, you are going to like this book. So the pages are a little smaller than the cover. The pages themselves are about 5.5 inches wide, and we have 8 inches long still. So the first thing you get access to is room to make 8 financial goals. Also strategies. So if you're someone that really likes to plan or make goals or make steps, this is something that was not offered in the first book. This is going to be offered in all the other ones, especially as we go up in price. This one has a section for skills that you want to learn towards your financial goals, actions that you'll take to earn more money, and ways that you want to cut expenses. So again, just some brainstorming. And then we move into a month. This one has no month, no date, and no year. So completely blank. You can start with wherever you're at, which is nice. So again, if you get this book in March or April, your first one can be April. You have to fill everything in. It's got a calendar if you like that. Some space for notes. I mean, not very much. This space right here is literally an inch, a little over an inch wide, but still it's nice to have. Then you have a monthly plan. So you can make 4 goals for your month. You can think about any purchases you need for the month, any bills. So maybe you have like a bill that's specifically coming up for that month. So there is 4 spots for your income. So again, it's good for weekly, but there's no spot for that 5th week that happens for every now and then for people that get paid weekly, and a place for your savings. You have a list of your budgets. So the one thing I'm noticing again, this book is completely blank. It doesn't list out any expenses at all. And even my budget book does that, where it puts something. So you are free to write out exactly what you need. The font Everything is so simple, and it's really giving me like vibes of like 1990s little planners that I used to love so much, that they'd be like in the little flip book. It would just be these tiny pages. That's kind of what this looks like. I mean, I don't know, again, I'm kind of torn. It's kind of cute. I would totally use it, but you can definitely see why this book is priced at $7.49 as opposed to one of the other ones. However, I like it. It's simple. I like that there's nothing pre-filled out. There is a spot to do your income, your expenses, and the difference. So that's nice if you like to track like what you thought versus what it was. You can see like how the difference has been for all your expenses. And then we come to an expense tracker. So again, my old budget book, I used the expense tracker pages to list out my sinking funds when I was putting money in my sinking funds. This is basically exactly what I need. This would cover that need. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of expense trackers. As someone who only gets paid twice a month, I like that because I could basically do what I did with my old budget book. My first paycheck could be these 2 pages of sinking funds. My second paycheck would be these 2. And then at the end, you do have a very basic budget review. So where did you have trouble? What could you have improved on? Any goals that you want to set? And then you have a page of bullet, if you like to do bullet journal or bullet planning, notes, ideas, all that kind of stuff. And that is it. And again, like most budget books, it then repeats itself. So we're going to have this repeat itself, same format. So not bad. I mean, it's simple. I like it. It's clean. You can make it the way you need it. I think there's enough room for things, and it's tiny. So let's see what happens at the end. So once we get through our 12 months, this is the expense tracker page. Okay, so this must be the last month. And then, yeah, our ideas and notes. So then we do have some extras in the back. The first thing is savings trackers. So there is a savings tracker section. And then I just had a thought about these stickers. There's no stickers that have the months, but I guess these little tag ones you could technically tag on the side, just so you could have tabs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sections for tracking different savings. So you could track your savings sinking funds here, or savings accounts. Then you have a debt tracker pages. And the savings shows, so you could put what you're saving for, what the goal is, if you have a due date, and then you can put the date, the amount you put in, and keep track of how you're reaching that goal. And then the debt is similar, but obviously different because now we're talking about debt. Debt has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So again, 8. Same thing for 8 credit cards or other debts. So here you can put your debt name or your credit card name, what your balance is, what your minimum payment is, and then keep track of your payments. Watch your balance go down. So if you were doing something like a debt snowball, you could start with the first one here, and then as you cross them off, that would be kind of fun to cross them off and then go down. We have holiday section. My budget book also had this, but I didn't use it. So, but if you're really into the holidays, or you really want to budget for the holidays, this is nice. You can track the budget you need for your holidays, things. So especially if you're like throwing a dinner, having family come, keep track of gifts and other holiday spending. And then we have a bill tracker as well. So you can write your bill, and then it looks like you can basically track it over time. Then we have our yearly summary, where you can put the month, the income, the difference. You can write out a summary of your monthly expenses, and it looks like you can do that. So you can kind of see a snapshot of how your year was. You have more bullet journaling pages. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7 bullet pages. And then you have a cute little folder in the back, if you want to put bills, receipts, anything, and then the stickers. Okay. So actually this one's not too bad. Again, it's very simple. It's very basic. It's also under $10. And I think this is fine. It's nice, and it does have a nice suede feel. So this is the blue budget book, and let's move on to the next one. I hope I don't say this wrong. Sarhams budget planner. My first thought was this one basically looks exactly like the planner I'm already using, but it's just like a different company and a different cover. So let's check this one out. Okay, so you get this binder thing. Also, I see that there is a little strap right here for a pen. And right away, there is a front folder, which is actually really nice. And it's pretty spacious, actually. It kind of accordions out. Also have a few pages of stickers here. These stickers are pretty cute, actually, because I really like the little tax ones, especially since I pay estimated taxes, or the little bill ones. And then, oh, these are upside down. Then we have some ones with sayings. So these stickers are not very big, but they're cute. The outside of the book, and I'm not going to include the spiral. Outside of the book measures, again, it's like a little under 6 inches by a little over 8 inches. And the pages are tinier than that. So the pages themselves are just under 5.5 inches and about 7 3/4 inch. So this one again has one of those, if you found this, please be kind and return. Also has your reward, so that really speaks to my 8-year-old soul in a very strong way. I think I forgot to say the price. This budget book was $8.49. So again, this is the last one in our under $10. Incredibly affordable, does what you need, isn't too huge. So if you're just getting into budgeting, you're trying to teach someone how to budget, or you just like things that are smaller or more simple, then this is probably a good one for you. Starts off right off the bat with 10 goals for you to write down, and then you get a mind map page, which does have little bullets. They're pretty hard to see, but they're there. Then we have some strategy pages. So we have my strategy, again, very similar to the last one, skills you want to learn. There's a spot for money affirmations if you like that kind of thing. And then really breaking down the steps. So what are some ways you can earn more money? How are you going to cut your expenses? And we have a strategy for each month. I think this is pretty cool, especially if you are like an independent contractor or you are on a 1099 and you just know that some months you make more money, some months you make less money. So like for me, example, I know that my paychecks in January and February are going to be very low because of the holidays. So I could strategize like these months I need to save extra to cover that. Let me get into the budget. So this one is super small, you guys. Everything is tiny. That's my first thought. It does have a planner, but you have to turn it to the side. Completely undated, so you can start any month you want, any year you want. I like that. Nothing very much written out. There is 5 lines for incomes. Actually, I'm sorry, there's 10 lines for income, so perfect. Especially if you get like multiple sources of income. And we have our monthly budget. This one, and I don't know if it's going to come across on the screen, but each of these squares, like this square is literally 2 inches wide by just under 2 inches long. And I guess if I think about it, I don't have that much room. So this, even though the print, the style is a lot like my budget planner I have now, which I wish I would have brought with me. It's very different in appearance. So this one does have some pre-listed ones. So housing, some food. So they already list out groceries or dining out. Credit cards is just one column. So it's probably not going to be enough for a lot of people. Entertainment. So there's that, but then they do give some extra. You also then get the budgeted, the actual, and the difference. And then we go right to expense trackers. So we have 1, 2, okay, only 3 pages of expense trackers. So right off the bat, I'm thinking, oh, that wouldn't work for me for sinking funds. Where would I write out my sinking funds for each paycheck? And then we have a debt tracker for the month and a savings tracker for the month. There's only like 9 spots. So we only have, okay, that's pretty much it actually, just one of each. Then you get a monthly review page, look at your balance, your income, your expenses. If you really like to categorize or you're really trying to figure out where your money is going, I do like that you could make your own pie chart. Each section is 5%. Figure out what you spent and you can have like a visual. There's just some questions. So this is, I think, very particular to a certain type of style. So if you like that stuff, if you want to be able to reflect on your month, reflect on your habits, you have spot to do that. There's like some questions you can fill out and then a blank page. and it repeats itself. So this one again is pretty simple. I don't think it's the best if you have a lot of debt or a lot of sinking funds, but if you, again, it's like if you're learning, if you want to get into budgeting, if you want to just get started. I'm just going to skip through to the back as it all the same. And then we have a bill tracker. So you can write your bill, you can write the month, and you can track your bill throughout the year. I've never really used these, if I'm being honest. It also has a holiday page. So again, you can do your holiday budgeting, your gifts, and your spending. A yearly summary. So looking at, I do like yearly summaries because again, as a contractor, it's nice for me to see what I made each month, and I can really see the ebbs and flows in the months. Then you can look at what your expenses were and see, I think knowing how your expenses flow through the year can really help you to do that. When you look at a budget book and they have you budget versus actual, well, how are you going to know that, right? But this will give you an idea. So your budgeted could be an estimate of what you've done. The actual will be what that actually happens. And then we have some bullet pages. So 1, 2, 3 bullet pages. There is a little thing in the back about how to use the planner. And then you do have a little thank you card, which is super cute. And we have another nice folder back here. So this one is okay. It's not bad. It's not like mine at all, even though I thought it was going to be exactly like mine. So if I'm being honest, that threw me off a little, but I'm not like mad about this. It's just, you know, it's under $10. So I really like this first category. I just keep coming back to, like, if I had a teenager, I would be getting my teenager one of these little books and teaching them how to do it. And then if they got really into it, then I think as a reward, then I would maybe I would like buy them a special one the following year as a gift for going through the trial and error of learning about money. So I think these would be good starter books is really what these are to me. So again, we have our first 3. They come in at $6.95, $7.49, and $8.49. Good starter books, good ways to learn, goods to help kids. And this is our under $10 selection on Amazon. Next, we are going to be moving on to the $10 to $20 category. Our next book is another simple one. It's just called Budget Planner. It is black. I believe this is the only color it came in. It does come packaged as well, which is nice. So I'll put that to the side. Get this open. This budget planner book retails at $10.98. So it was only 98 cents over the $10 mark for this video, but that might speak to the quality. So, oh, doesn't this look familiar? I bought the same planner. Okay. This is literally the same planner as the blue one, but it's in black, which is so funny because, let me pull this one back out. I'm confused why it's exactly the same, but this one was only $7.49 and this one was $10.98. So something to think about on Amazon. I've noticed that sometimes when I was looking at budget books, they would the prices would vary, the books would vary, but then I would look and I'm like, are the pages exactly the same? Here is a cautionary tale. Yes, some of them are going to be the same, but one's going to be 7, one's going to be over 10. It's literally the same book, the same quality. I mean, word for word. Page for page, exactly the same. So I'm not going to even bother to review this one because we can see it's the same. However, if you did like this little book, which I kind of do like this little book, I'm actually not going to lie, it's cute. I have 2 of this style that'll be on offer for the giveaway. So that's nice. So you can pick if you want the money symbol or just the simple one. I'm kind of shocked by that. And this one also has the same stickers. I just don't understand why the price was so different and why it looked so different. Last book in our $10 to $20 category is this one. It is called This Is My Error Budget Planning. It is not spiral bound. This book came in at $19.99. So we're starting to get to the mid-priced range. Let me get this open if I can figure out how to, I'm like, how do I even open this? Okay, I'm like, I don't want to ruin the cover, but it's not close. So the first thought is I like this book. 1, I love the red color. And 2, it has this you know, like old book in a library kind of feel, which I love. I love libraries. I love books. So it has that, yeah, old book in a library feel. That's all I can say. No bindings. That's something to think about. And it is kind of stiff. Comes with, oh, this is cool. I didn't realize this, but this particular brand donates 4% to education funds. So that's awesome. There's also a nice pack of stickers. I won't open them so I can leave them sealed for whoever wins this one. It does look like, dare I say, there's like 4 pages in here. It feels like there's quite a few pages of stickers in here. But I don't know. I don't want to open it. Okay, so let's look and see what this book has to offer, because again, we are starting to get more into the $20 range. So first we have a This Belongs To. Then this is a new thing I haven't seen yet as far as our price range. We have a breakdown of 2022 and 2023. You get like a yearly scope, and then there's a couple pages of how to use the planner. We have some quotes, and then again, for your first step, you get a room for 7 financial goals for the year. And we go right into savings trackers, which is actually pretty cool. There's 6 spots for savings trackers. So if you do have 6 savings accounts online, up to 6 sinking funds that are savings specific, or you're doing savings challenges or something, you have this. Trying not to open this book all the way because the binding. And then we have a debt summary. So this is something I thought was pretty cool with this book, because I like, again, it's like reading a book. This talks about debt, and it actually does mention the difference between the snowball method and the avalanche method. So you get like a little bit of information, and this is pretty cool. If you're not really sure what to do, they have a quote by Dave Ramsey right here. There are no shortcuts when it comes to getting out of debt. So it makes me think this book was kind of focused on debt, but you have room for your debt, your balance, your interest, your minimum payment, and then a payoff checker. There is 12 spots for debt here, and then you have like where you can break down the individual one, and it does include all 12 from the first list, which is kind of like a table of content. So we jump right into the month. This one is blank. I do like, so here I guess you just have the option to circle the month. You get monthly goals, a to-do list section. You do get a calendar. I think I just realized I forgot to measure. So the outside of the book, sorry to do like an aside here, is about 5 1/4 inches wide and just under 8 1/2 inches long, but the pages are a little shorter. Of course, the pages measure 5 1/2 wide by just a little over 8 inches long, like 8 2/16 or something. So that being said, these pages, I'm not sure if it's going to come out on camera, but they're small. So again, you have a room for income, a lot of room for income and savings. These little boxes are not even 2 1/2 inches wide and about 2 1/2 inches long. The calendar too, you know, the pages aren't full size, but you do have your ability to fill out a calendar. You have notes on the side, and then you go into your monthly budget, which again, it's totally blank. So if you like that, this is great, because you can just list out your own expenses, make your own categories. You have that freedom. It's got plenty of room for tracking monthly bills. 26 times 2 is like what, 55 lines. That my math is probably way long there, but that's a lot of lines for your budget. Then we have expense trackers, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages for expense tracking, which again is nice. This is a good place to track your sinking funds, or if you track your expenses. Nothing for debt. And then we end with a monthly review, so you can look at your income, your savings, your expenses. You can do some reflecting on if you made your month's goals, what the positives were, what do you want to improve on, actions, a bullet page for taking notes. And then like every other planner, it repeats itself. Something I'm noticing that it has is 2 bookmarks, which is pretty cool. And then let's see if this offers anything at the end. Sorry, I'm trying not to open this book all the way to break the binding, but let's see. We have our expense trackers. All right, so we do have some extra pages in the back. We have holiday gifting. So I have to say I kind of like this format. It's very simple. It's very like old ledger book style. So yeah, this book is just so like old book. If you like old books and like paper and pencil and old things and simple things, I think this budget book is pretty, it kind of would do the job. But you can list your gifts, what you're going to spend. Then there's a yearly overview. And again, a yearly review, so a place to reflect, and you have a bullet page, and then that is the end of the book. All right, so this one isn't bad. I mean, $19.99, okay, I could see that. I think my main thing with this book would be over time the binding breaking, but I think if you like, if you're kind of old-fashioned, or even the pages are like that books that have aged over time. So there's something about this book that's so simple and sweet, and I think speaks to a certain aesthetic, but that is that this is my error book. As we can see, the 10 to 20 range, nothing super fancy happening over the under 10 range, except for maybe like this cover is a little more substantial. We are now getting into the more pricey budget books. We have 2 books in the $20 to $30 range, and then we're going to round this video out with 3 books in the 30 plus range. Our next book is the one I'm super excited about, the Carpe Diem budget planner. This book was so stinking cute. I had to buy it. On here it has the price as $21.99, but Amazon I did pay $20.74. Let's get into this one. I think now we're at the over 20, we're in the $20 to $30 mark. I think we're going to start seeing a substantial jump in quality and content. So I'm looking forward to see how these books change as price point goes up. My first thought is just, this book just makes me happy. It's pretty, it's like bright and lively. So it's kind of nice, you know? Oh yeah, this book is nice. It has a really nice cover, a very solid and sturdy spiral. It's got one of those things in there. I'll try to keep that in there. The cover is cardboard, but it's sturdy and it has the little edging. So, I mean, just look at how bright this is. It's got the color scheme that looks like it pretty much goes through. I think this is the first budget book where we're actually seeing tabs put in, so that is exciting. So you have your tabs. You start off right away with some stickers. You have 1, 2 pages of stickers. You have a little folder here, which I can't really see how thick it is because I don't want to take, I'm trying to keep the books as intact as possible for the giveaway. You get a little hello, my name belongs. This book belongs to. All right, so this book, one thing I noticed on the website is it does have these special pages for each month. So just little quotes, just art. It's very like arty and like I said, very bright, very lively. The first section is for budget tracking. So you can get an overview of your budget for the year. You have notes. You go into a savings tracker. So again, this is the first book that offers any kind of savings challenge. So you could make this really any challenge you wanted. You have it broken down by month and your goal and what you've been putting in. Then we have savings tracker pages. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. So for 6 different savings, which seems to be the average so far. This is cool and new. It's a donation tracker. This is great if you donate a lot, or again, if you do tax write-offs. Donations are tax write-offs, so keeping track of that is good for tax time. I like this one as well. It's like a bill payment checklist, right? Just have like a list of what your bills are, and then as you pay them each month, you can check them. So that is nice to keep track. We have another little kind of like challenge, but this one is for debt payoff. So very similar as the savings one, you have like a visual. You can break down your debt. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots for debt. And then we're moving on to an account tracker. I guess this would be for banking and checking accounts, but it's really made just for 1, 2, 3, 4 different accounts. All right, we have credit card information spot, bank information spot with like phone numbers, websites, login, passwords. So, I mean, I don't know. That stuff gets, I guess, kind of iffy writing it down, especially if you lose this. You have 1, 2 pages for line notes, and then it jumps right into the month. So each month, again, is going to have the same theme. You're going to start with an overview, and then the tab will start on the right side, and each tab is going to have some kind of saying or picture. You get to set up a monthly savings goals. There's some notes. You can make goals for the month, things you want to look ahead, and let's see how the budget is broken down. So you get a 2-page spread, and then once again, I forgot to measure this. So let me stop here. The outside measures 7 inches wide by almost 9 inches long. And then when we get to the individual pages are about 6 1/4 inches wide and a little over, and 8 1/4 inches long. So not, not the biggest size, but not the smallest. Definitely saw smaller sizes. This does have months, but it doesn't have years. So again, if you were to buy this book in March, you could start in March, and then as you get into that January, you could technically go back and use these two. You can fill out your calendar, monthly goals, some notes. You got some quotes. You got your monthly spread. So there is room for 4 paychecks or 4 incomes. So again, if you are paid weekly and you have that 5th magic month, you won't have a spot for it. I love that once again, it's completely blank. So you have the ability to put in the bills that you actually need, write down your own bills, break down your own categories, make your budget that way. And you can keep track. And then what else is? Okay, then we have our expense tracker, very common in budget books. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I always look for this because, again, this is where I put my sinking funds, and I get 2 paychecks a month. So I always look for 4 pages because that's enough for me to do. Yeah, this could be your expense tracking, or this could be where you list out your sinking funds and you keep track of what you're putting in if you budget per paycheck. Then we have a list. So I like this as well, a monthly bills checklist. You can write out the bills for a month, and then you can check off as they're paid and taken out of your account. This is something I started doing in my own budget book. After I would make my budget, as I made sure the bills came out, I would check them. That way I could keep track of this is the money I have in my bank. What is it reflecting? You get a page for notes. So something that struck me is this is the first book that has lined paper and isn't like a bullet journal style, which is cool. Just 1 page for notes. Then we move on to the next month. So again, this is going to repeat, but this is February's. So January was pink. February is this blue. Okay, March looks like it's yellow themed. Then we have April, which is like a light pink theme. That's cute. Did I just totally skip over 3 of them? Yeah. May, oh, that's cute. Green. June, different kind of green. July, back to like pink. August, that's my birthday month. September, I really like this pattern, the like solid gold and then like the dots or the prints. I'm digging that. October, I also like money signs. This October's pretty cute. It's got like a green theme. November, we're back to the soft pink and the little piggy bank pig. And December, which is going back to pink. And is there anything else in this book, or is that pretty much it? I guess this book pretty much offered all the extras you get are pretty much front and center, like where other budget books tend to put them in the back. In the back, there is nothing, no folders or anything. I mean, this book is pretty cute. You get 1 folder. I like it. I think it's cute. I mean, for, how much was this? $20.74. It's way more than I paid for my budget book, but it's just happy. It's happy, it's bright. It's got what you need. It's got good spacing. There's not like crazy fonts or crazy things going on. So I'm kind of a fan of this one. I like it. Our last book in our $20 to $30 category is the Smart Lion Money Mastery book. This is our first budget book that's coming in a box, so it's more of a presentation. This book retailed for $23.95. Kind of baffled at the size, but we'll see. So let's get this open and see what we have inside. I'm like, some of these budget books came in large sizes and medium sizes, and I'm wondering if this was one of them, and then maybe I just got the medium-sized one. I do love that it's a lion because I'm an August baby. I'm a Leo, so I can appreciate the lion. Let's see, we open it from the top. Oh yeah, I love that gold right there. Okay, this is pretty cute. Whoops. Okay, I loved this purple color. This book comes with this book, The Millionaire Secrets, 16 Habits to Achieve a Millionaire Life, which is kind of cool. No other planner really talked about this, but it looks like it basically shows you how to use the planner, then gives you some tips on building wealth and habits that you can create. So number 5, stop exchanging your time for money. Interesting. Change your mindset about money. Okay, so there's like a little, that's like an extra, which is kind of cute. I like it. I really love the gold theme. I loved this purple color. The outside of the book is 5 1/4 inches wide, which is a theme, and 8 1/4 inches long, so theme. This is the premium version, which maybe it's just because it comes with the book. It is undated, and it follows 9 proven steps to get out of debt fast and build financial freedom. Okay, the cover is, it has this. I'm thinking it's to put a pen. It's like soft and suede-y. It does not have a spiral. Again, it's like that old book feel. This book feels nice. And I love the gold. Really, really love the rose gold trim on the edge of the book. I'm like a sucker for trim. I think you guys know I also read tarot cards, and I like will buy tarot cards that have this gilding. It's what it's called, gilding. So I love that. All right, so we have some thank you cards. And a 10% off, which is nice. There is some fancy stickers that are definitely following a color scheme. So you got 3 pages of stickers. It says, so there's like some affirmation things, and it's all about finances. So it's kind of trying to get you, I think, in the mindset of financial control. And again, it does kind of go with these proven steps. So I think that's going to be a theme in this book. So we have, again, that basic my planner belongs to, my mission statement, that's new. And it says scan for a free gift. All right, so I think that this book is very geared towards getting out of debt and financial freedom, which is pretty great, and it's why I'm here. So the first thing is it goes through 9 steps of how to set goals, create a strategy, and start working towards debt payoff. Pretty awesome. So the individual pages are about 5 inches wide and 8 inches long. So I'm really wondering if this book came in a full size. If this was full size, I'd be like all about it. And honestly, this size isn't bothering me. The gilding makes it better, but the not spiral starts to, I hate breaking the binding. But I have to say that the soft binding has more give than the last one. So let's move on because we've been on this page for a while. So that's our first page. And then, oh yeah, the thing about gilding is it's going to stick, but that'll go away. We have a monthly budgeting process. So then besides the like overview, it kind of sets you up for budgeting and paying off debt each month. And it's like a space where you can reward yourself, keep track of where you are on this list. So if you are really a kind of person that likes to set goals, have steps, make a plan, track what you're doing, this book is going to be really great for you. It's basically made to do that. Then you have steps towards financial goals. You can list your debt payoffs, when you want to pay it off by. It has stuff for an emergency fund and creating goals for that, like looking ahead to how much money you want to earn, even looking ahead to retirement, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, 15 years. It says access instruction videos, and there's this website. So again, this book comes with a lot of extras. So if you get this book and you use the extras and you like them, I would really love to hear about it. There is room for 8 goals. It's got a little piggy bank, a little like jar on the side, so you can keep track of some very big goals. Emergency fund goal is there, retirement, that's great, education, other goals you can write in. And so this is going through the steps. So this is basically step 1, set your financial goal. Step 2, create your strategy, create a mind map, questions you can answer about strategy. That's step 2 and step 3. Step 4 is you making your financial commitment and declaration form, so committing to yourself. This Again, if this is something, if you're like one of those people that really like to envision or plan, this book is made for that. And I like that it's already built in here. We have step 5, which is restructure your debts, pay off the highest interest first. So you don't have to do it that way, but that's the way they're recommending. So looking at your debt payoff. Step 6 is making positive habits. So what are the habits you want to change? The habits you want to add. Step 7 is so now we need to increase our revenue, increase our cash flow. What are the unnecessary expenses that we can cancel? So important, I think, and I know this was true for me, realizing I had a lot of subscriptions. Like I'd want to watch a movie on my Fire Stick, so then I would subscribe to the channel, and then I had $7 here, $8 there. So where can you cut out spending? What are things that aren't necessary? What are things that you can sell? So it really has you thinking about like it says, your cash flow, your money, your habits. And then we're looking towards, the mental piece, which is so important. So it says reprogramming your mind for financial success. So we have your own limiting beliefs about money and more empowering beliefs. And then you have like a yearly reflection. So you can see like what percentage did you make in your goals. You can reflect. So this is very interesting planner. It's so much more than a budget planner, but it definitely follows what they're saying they're following, which is the 9 steps to financial freedom. So then we have our month. So everything is undated. You can start whatever month you need. You can put in the day. There's a little bullet thing says tasks or intentions. You have several, 6 lines for income sources, which is nice. 6 lines for saving. You are working on changing your habits, which as an OT, I love that, because our habits, we can change them. And this is something I always say as an OT, is that the goal of a habit is you want it to become routine, but that doesn't, at first, it's really about you have to make the effort every day, and over time it becomes routines, but it has to be an active process. And that is true with all of our habits, and it's very true with our money habits. If we are trying to change our money habits, we have to really actively work towards these goals. So I think this planner is great because it makes you think about that, and then it gives you a way to track it and get it more routine in your life. So this is how your month starts. And then you have another page somewhere. You have a list where you can put monthly goals, have your bills, expenses. So you can kind of put what you want here. The only thing is, the pay is on this page, so it gets spread across a few pages, which I like seeing it all in like one spread. They broke it down a little: housing, personal transportation, food, but within that you have space to write out your own bills. Have a spending expense tracker, but it looks like there's only 2.5 pages of that, so that's interesting. And then you have, it goes right in, there's a section for notes. Then you have a monthly reflection. So it's really focusing on your savings. So you can keep track each month. And then again, that reflection piece. And there's a website, freedommastery.com, which I really want to look up now and see like what they're all about. It repeats itself. Yeah, I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say about this. It's very unique, very different as far as plan. Oh, I just saw a page for sinking funds. Okay, let's look in the back because there's a lot of extras back here. So we go through our year, and then there's a spending summary, monthly reflection. Okay, we know all that. All right, then we end up with, there's like a bullet page. There's more affirmations. And you have savings trackers. I like that it puts my why. I think sometimes knowing why you're doing something can be helpful. And again, to go back to habits, that's just so true with habits. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different spots to track different savings. You have the same for debt trackers, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections for debt tracking. Then you have a monthly bill tracker, which seems pretty common. So you can write your bill, you write the month, you keep track, you see, which is kind of cool because I think it'd be really interesting to see, like, oh, I spent X amount of money on rent this year. I spent X amount on electricity this year. This is where my income's going. Sinking funds. I have not seen this yet. There is a spot for 18 sinking funds. And I think it looks like you can kind of track. So you know how I have my monthly sinking fund tracker where I write down what I make each month and then I total it? This is literally that on a page, which I have it right here. It's literally this monthly tracker in the book, which I kind of love because I like tracking it and seeing how it changes over time. And then we have a yearly summary. We have a holiday budget tracker. I like that it's very simple. It doesn't give you specific categories. You can fill it in as it suits you. We have a nice bullet page. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. 9 pages of bullet journaling in the back. And then we do have one of those accordion pockets. Okay, so this book, I would say, I've already said, I'm surprised at the size. I thought it was going to be bigger. I really see what they're doing here with the money mastery. I think if you are somebody that really wants to take control of your finances and your money, you really like the process of thinking and writing out and having steps to follow, and you just want extra guidance or you want that extra assistance, this book is awesome. All right, and that is the end. We are moving on to our pricey category. So we are in the 30 plus. All these books range between $30 and $40. 3 more left, you guys. And as these are the higher priced budget binder books, they look way fancier. For starters, they all come in boxes. First one in the 30 plus category is the Legend Planner Bill and Budget Organizer. This one retailed, I paid $32.99. Okay, this is massive. I like the bigger size for starters. It comes in a nice, very substantial in weight. This is the first one I've picked up where I was like, wow. The box is nice. The box is thick and sturdy. You could actually reuse this box. It comes with some cards showing you the pages. And this is the budget planner book. Oh, we also have some stickers. So 2 pages. I'm going to put this box to the side. This one, like I said, was $32.99. It came in a variety of colors. I really love the turquoise and gold. Let's check this baby out. So nice binding. It's not like too thin or too tight around the book. The book itself is cardboard. So I find that interesting because this book is way more pricey than the other ones, but I think there was one of the cheaper ones actually had that. Oh, that purple one. I think I got used to it. Was just like soft and suede and nice. So this kind of feels like a little cheap to me considering the price, if I'm being honest. All right, as always, you get your please bring my book back to me and your reward, which is so funny that I've never usually see that. And then we open up to a 2-page spread of your financial plan for life. So if you can do that, good for you. You can think about where you're at now, 2 years, 3 years, you can plan out the next decade, the next 20 years, and think about how old you are, how old you're going to be, with your career, your income, your assets, and passive income. So that's a good, just planning ahead. And then we have 1 year goals. So there's room to make 8 goals for the year. You have a mind map page, which is bullet journaling. And then we go right into the month. So the second thing that I am already surprised about is, I don't know if you guys remember the book I bought 2 of. Remember these little budget planners way in the beginning that I accidentally have 2 of the same one? And I was like, this book, one was $7.50, one was $10.50. And yeah, I mean, are we seeing how this is literally the same? But these were $7 and $10 and this one is $32. So that kind of shocks me. Obviously there's more room, but the format, I mean, I guess I expected something fancier. I don't know why I feel disappointed to see that, but I kind of do. I'm not going to lie. So you have your month spread. Again, it's blank. You can put in the month, the year, fill out your calendar. You have a spot for 5 incomes and savings. The monthly budget has basic categories, but you can fill in the rest. But I just can't get over how the style is exactly like the $7 book. And this is a $32 book. So I'm hoping I see something else that wows me. Then you have your expense tracker. So it's very big. You have 1, 2, did I measure these pages? This page is 7.5, a little over 9 inches. So it's a nice size. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of expense tracking or sinking fund tracking. And you have an end of the month budget review. So there's not much to each month, if I'm being honest. And you can, again, this is unlike another one that I had. One of the cheaper books had this, again, almost the same thing. I'm like beginning to wonder if this book is made from the same company as that cheaper one and they market this as something different. But you can do your end of the month, you can analyze your spending, you can reflect. The thing I do like about this is it has a spot for receipts and bills. I like that because I keep my bills for write-offs for taxes, so it would be nice to like keep them all in the month category. And then you have a quote. It moves to the next month. It looks like each month gets its own color scheme. And so we have that color, and then it gets a quote, and then it moves on to the next month. Another receipt and bill. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I feel mixed about this book. I thought I was gonna be way more excited for this book than I am. Trying to like keep myself together. I do like the quotes. I like that it's like a combo budget book and bill organizer, because they sell books that just have folders, which I really want. Start keeping track of my receipts and stuff to make taxes easier. But I mean, again, like the format is so basic. It's just like that $7 book. So, is there anything in the back? Looks like there is some extras. And there's no tabs either. So, okay. So then we end up with the extra, which there is a lot of extras. Savings trackers. So again, you can track your sinking funds, savings accounts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like how the colors change on them, so it really separates the different ones. I do like that. I appreciate that aesthetically. There's 8 savings trackers. And again, I love the color part. So I'm going to give you that. I like the color. So 4, 8 debt trackers. Oh, nope. 12. Because we know most of us have more debt than savings. And then we have holiday spending. I like the color they're including here. I do like that it's just holiday and not Christmas specific. We have a bill tracker, so very standard bill ledger looking. Keep track of the bill, the month, see it over time. You have your yearly summary. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, 11 pages of bullet journaling, and that's it. So I'm not going to lie. I thought I was going to love this budget book way more than I do. I thought this was going to be the one that I kept for myself, especially because of the pockets. But if you liked the cheaper ones because how simple they are, but you just want a little extra, this is a good one to go for. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thrown off by the price, and I know I can hear it in my voice, but not totally what I was expecting. We have 2 more budget books to go. We are moving up in price, and I think that doing this has been pretty eye-opening as far as what budget planners look like and lack. I wanted to do this too because I really want to create my own budget book, but I want it to be good, and I feel like I have a better idea of what I would want and what I don't want. Okay, let's move on. Getting into the 2 fanciest ones. This was Planberry. Very pretty. I like the black, the rose gold, the nice thick box it comes in, very sturdy. These Planberry budget books are, first off, super thick. They retail for $34.99, and there is a variety of different prints on the cover, which is pretty cool. I went for the red. I liked it. In the box, you are going to get a little thank you. What is this? You have 1, 2, 3 stickers, or I should say 3 sheets of stickers, and it comes with a whole book about how to use your budget book. Let's put this aside. This is another one I was excited about. Okay. The thing that's throwing me off about the more expensive budget books is how cheap the covers are. Because again, some of the cheaper ones, if you remember, I was like, oh, it's so soft. It feels so nice. It's suedey. And these are like the $8, $9, $10 books. So how are the 30 plus books not stepping up their game? This one kind of has a suede feel, but I mean, whatever. The spiral's nice. Let me not forget, because I've been trying to be consistent and I know I forgot. The outside of this book is about 5 3/4 inches wide and 8 just under 1/2 inches long. And then the pages are a little smaller. The inside, the pages are 5.5 inches wide and 8.25 inches long. I am like dying that every budget book has, if you found this book, please return it and here's your reward. I'm like loving that. And it's not because I've been doing this for like 1.5 hours now and I'm going loopy, but the more I see it, the more I like love it. Like I said, my 8-year-old self would be very proud of this. This is also a budget planner combo bill organizer. Okay, smaller, but it's very thick. So the first thing we go to is our personal financial strategy. So our money goals, our savings goals, actions we should take, our habits. What do we need to change? What are our affirmations? If you're an affirmation person, 10 financial goals you can write out, and then a mind map. So pretty standard stuff. Your year at a glance. I like that it's blank. So again, if you're starting this book in April, you can, reflect that. And I hate to be like a broken record, but once again, the format of this book is just giving me $7 budget book vibes at a $35 price tag. And my question is why? Why? These two books doing that, the only thing I can think of is because they have these folders in them. And this book is like way smaller than the Legend book. But this is the month, it's blank. My takeaway here, guys, is don't buy a budget book based off of price, because it might, for me, when I was looking at these budget books, the books that as they started to get in the $30 range, I thought they were going to be so fancy and so nice. And then I opened them and I'm like, I don't know, remember that $7 book that just said budget book on it? That was nice too. And literally looked the same. So I guess, and the paper, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting more disappointed as the video goes on, because I actually thought the opposite was going to happen. I thought as the price went higher, I thought the books were going to get fancier, and that's not happening. So let this be a lesson to you. You do not have to spend a lot of money to get a good budget book. I really hope that this video helps you pick one that fits you. And yeah, it's not always about price. But anyway, let's get back to this. We have, like I said, you can fill in the month, start any month that you want. There's a spot for monthly goals. Income, you just like a blank box that you fill in yourself. It's really hard to see. There is like a slight space between, like if you were writing paycheck and the amount. You get a little checklist, which I would probably use to track estimated taxes. A really tiny calendar, but it's still there. And then you get your budget. I like this style. I like that there's basic categories, but then you're free to fill in your own. It's just, they're tiny. This again is a little over a 2.25 inch box, and it's $32. And I'm like, okay, Legend budget planner. This is the same, smaller version. But I mean, does this not look the same, guys? So I'm like, are we being fooled on Amazon? Is there just really 1 or 2 budget companies that are making these books, making small changes and then drastically changing the prices? It's literally a smaller version of the Legend book, almost to a T. The paper's the same, the feel's the same, and this one's even more money. This one's $35, and it's smaller. So, okay. I feel like I'm turning into a critic, and I'm not impressed. So we have expense tracker pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is nice. And then you end, and this page was also in one of the cheaper budget books, which I do love this concept. I love the concept of having a folder for me, I would just stick like the monthly bills in for tax write-offs. And then you get a little quote. So Planberry and Legend are almost the same. This is a smaller version of it. The style is exactly like the $8 and $10 books. So you get the spending analysis page. We've seen this one over and over again, almost identical looking. This happens every month. Every month gets a new color. It gets its own quote. So, okay, you're not wowing me, Planberry, and I really thought you were going to, because you cost a lot of money. But you're not bad. Like, honestly, this is a step up from the cheaper one. So if this is pretty much how budget books go on Amazon, is kind of my lesson of this is, see. All right, so we do have the savings trackers, just like the legend book, color coordinated, which I do love. I appreciate that because visually, when it's all the same color, it's hard to see the different ones, but this really, you can really separate the different items that you're tracking. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 savings trackers. And then does this also have 12 like the last book? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 debt trackers. A little holiday section, so kind of similar to what we've seen before, holiday budgeting, your gifts, your spending. Well, bill tracker, I do love the bill trackers. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of the bill trackers because again, I like to see what I've actually spent over time. We have a summary of the year, and then we have bullet pages. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, and then we have a little back pocket. I was like, does this fold open? Like, no, it's like a back pocket with 2 sides. Okay, so I also thought the Planberry book was going to be bigger, and I'm like, why isn't this closing? Okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm like, what is the lesson that I'm learning here? Because this is a monstrous thing of waiting for budget books. But I just really, on Amazon, when you look at these, especially these more expensive ones, they just look so fancy. They look so nice. And I'm just shocked to see that the quality is literally the same as our first category of under 10. So none of them are bad. All of them are going to do the job. All of them have their pluses. I think as far as a giveaway, I would be happy with any of them. But yeah. All right, last one. This is a book that whenever I type in budget book on Amazon, this one floods. Like it's all over the place on the page. This is the CleverFox, very fancy budget book. This was my most expensive. It retailed at $38.49. Also in a fancy box. And oh man, if the pages look the same, I might cry at this point because this video is really long. But let's check out CleverFox and see, is CleverFox doing anything to outfox their competition? All right, you get a box. It's sturdy. This looks exactly the same as what was in the legend one. So it gives you like a card to show you how to use your stuff and eat. I did like the color purple for this. This one also came with color options. I forgot to say that out of all of them, Legend Planner had the most options as far as colors and styles. All right, I gotta like get over that. All right, so we have the Budget Planner Bill Organizer, Undated Planner, Budget Planner. You have a little card. You do get some stickers. You have 2 pages of stickers. And let's move this to the side so we can check out what this looks like. Okay, CleverFox. This one is just, I think, one of the most expensive budget planners on Amazon is this one. So I really am curious to see why. And I really hope I get I really hope I end on a good note here. Okay, my first thought is I already feel a difference in the cover. It's like suede and it doesn't have that like cardboardy feel. It's a little bit thicker. I do like I said, there's different colors. I went with purple. You got the spiral binding. Yes, it did. They did not fail me. You can put your reward for someone finding your book. And okay. We start out with our financial goals. There's room for 10. We have a mind map. This looks very similar to other ones. Paper is similar quality. We have a strategy page, so the skills that you want to learn, affirmations, actions. So this is kind of like the legend one where it kind of goes through affirmations and stuff and tactics. Oh, no way. You guys, are you seeing, again, I hate to do this, but this almost $40 budget book literally looks the same as my little $9 book. I have to say that that's kind of disappointing. Where's my Okay, so I think I've already said everything I could say about that. Get your monthly goals, a checklist. This is literally was just like another budget book that I just did, but I'm kind of forgetting at this point because this is my 10th budget book. I think the most unique one so far is the Puka one because it's just the colors and everything. But again, you have big categories, but you can fill in the inside. You get a calendar. You have a spot for income, and then it goes right to the expense tracker. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do like that again for sinking funds. And then you end with a monthly review, some reflection, and this one also has pockets. So my takeaway so far is the budget books that are over $30. One of the biggest differences about them is one, they come in a box, okay? And two, they have folders. And that is like literally, this one is literally just like the Legend one. I'm like utterly convinced that there's one company making all of these books under different names, and they're ranging the price points from like $32 up to $40. Because these last three literally all look the same. And it repeats itself. There's really not much to it, but I mean, whatever, I guess. So you get your receipt and bills, you get a quote. We've seen this before. You get the color scheme for the month. It repeats all the way through. And then at the end, was there any extra? Yes, so then we go back. Okay, the savings tracker, the font is way bigger. It's probably coming through on camera. My first thought was, whoa, way bigger. I do really appreciate, once again, the color coding. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spots for tracking different savings. Then we have debt tracking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 for debt. So the Legend one had 12, right? Holiday spending. I mean, these pages are the same. They're just in different covers. We have bill trackers. This one is bigger. It's like spread across the page. So if you like large print, I guess this would be nice. We have our summary of the year, and that's a spread. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this has more of these. 11, 12, 13 pages of bulleting. Bullet pages, like bullet journaling, and then the end. I'm like laughing out loud that this is exactly identical, and I paid more for this than this one. So I guess my takeaway from this is don't pay attention to the name of the budget book because they're all the same. And really pay attention to what the pages look like, I guess. Reviews, I'm just baffled. Like I was ripping on the cheap ones at first, like, oh, these are cheap. But honestly, I actually kind of like the cheaper ones over the more expensive ones because they're like not trying to be something they're not. And they were like, I mean, okay, we're talking about budgeting here and finances. I spend $40 on a book when a $10 book literally looks the same, right? So we gotta, and I just saw a penny saved is a penny earned, right? There you go, right there. That's your lesson. Penny saved is a penny earned. So spending more money on a budget book does not necessarily mean better anything, but you are gonna get some cool folders at the end. And that concludes this crazy video of all the budget books. And I honestly, as much as I like Spiral Bound, I think I talked so much about how I like old books and how simple this was. I'm like, am I going to keep this one as mine? I honestly thought I was going to go for one of the more expensive ones, but I don't know. This is a mess, you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this mammoth look at a variety of budget books that are on Amazon. I hope that this is eye-opening for you as it was for me. I will never look at budgeting books for the price again. I will definitely look at what it looks like inside, and we don't make very many budget books for cash budgeters and stuffers. They're not necessarily like made to fill that need, I think is something that I've noticed. So I guess my step is to figure out which of these budget books I'm going to use because I do need one, and that was part of doing this. And I will go ahead and give away all the rest of these books through in December. I haven't quite have all the details hashed out, but it is coming. I think what I'm going to do is each book will get its own hashtag so that it's easier for me. So if you really don't want this book, but you really kind of love this book, even though I was surprised by it, then you can only giveaway for this. I think that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that seeing some of the budget books helped you kind of get a better understanding of what's out there. And as I have my notes, as we see, the range is crazy, like from $7 all the way up to $40. And within that range, there's not much difference. So that is my takeaway here of, okay, that's surprising. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you guys. Bye.